boat, rocks the boat left and right with his every step. Perfect. The most significant expression in this verse is Parthivarvaka, the son of the king. When Dhruva Maharaj was at home, although he was a king's son, he was prevented from getting on the lap of his father. But when he became advanced in self-realization or devotional service, by the pressure of his toe, he could push down the whole earth. That is the difference between ordinary consciousness and Krishna consciousness. In ordinary consciousness, a king's son may be refused something even by his father. But when the same person becomes fully Krishna conscious within his heart, he can push down the earth with the pressure of his toe. One cannot argue how is it that Dhruva Maharaj, who was prevented from getting up on the lap of his father, could press down the whole earth. This argument is not very much appreciated by the learned, for it is an example of Nagna Matrika logic. By this logic, one would think that because his mother in her childhood was naked, she should remain naked even when she is grown up. This is a logic which is like a, Ardha Kukkuda logic or something like that. The stepmother of Dhruva Maharaja might have been thinking in a similar way. Since she had refused to allow him to get up on the lap of his father, how could Dhruva perform such wonderful activities as pressing down the whole earth? She must have been very surprised when she learned that Dhruva Maharaj, by concentrating constantly on the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, could press down the entire earth like an elephant who presses down the boat on which it is loaded. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Salagaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stabidam Yena Bhudale Swayam Rupakadam Hayam Dadati Supadandigam Vandegam Sri Gurum Sri Yudapadagamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunadhanidam Tum Sajivam Sadhvaidam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalidam Sri Vishakhanidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandho Jagatpade Govesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Lokanath Swami Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswada Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nurvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining this very auspicious Bhagavatam section. This always says we should hear Srimad Bhagavatam every day without fail. It reveals that Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. It can eradicate all the impurities of the heart. Abhadra, Ashta Prayeshu, is eradicates the most. So this is a spiritual science, Srimad Bhagavatam. We should always aim to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from all the sources. So let's begin this wonderful section of Dhruva Maharaj is attaining the perfection. You know that the context. Dhruva Maharaj was insulted by the stepmother very harshly, and Dhruva Maharaj then had to leave the palace in order to attain the Supreme Lord. The insult was by the Suriji, the stepmother, mentioned that you cannot climb on the lap of your father or sit on the throne unless you take birth in my womb. So in order to take birth in, Suriji's womb, Suriji was mentioning that you should please the Lord only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord that you can take birth in my womb. Dhruva Maharaj became so pained with these harsh words, and he was trembling with, this pain, and came to Mother Sunidhi. Sunidhi is also advised the same thing, that don't think anything ill about others. It's all the will of the providence. If you wish so, only by the devotional service that one can please the Lord, and then if Lord is pleased, then everything is possible. Dhruva Maharaj asked where I can find the Lord. So you should go to forest, meditate on the Lord, and everybody does that in order to attain the Lord. They go to the forest, they meditate and worship the Lord. So Dhruva Maharaj left the palace. In the meantime, Dhruva Maharaj met with Narada Dev. Narada Dev overheard that Dhruva Maharaj's determination. So Narada Dev wanted to prevent that little boy, 5-year-old boy, going to the forest, and also wanted to test Dhruva Maharaj's determination. So Narada Dev was initially trying to stop Dhruva Maharaj and telling that this is not for you. Even yogis, they were doing this for thousands of years, but still they couldn't achieve the result, the perfection. Don't do this. This is very severe task. There'll be ferocious animals and you will not get anything, and you're a little boy. This is not for you. This is so, but Dhruva Maharaj was so determined. So this is the one. Dhruv means very steady. The meaning itself, Dhruv means very steady. That's called Dhruva Nakshatra, Dhruv. And because of his steady, it doesn't, rotate or anything. So Dhruv means very steady. So his determination, his steadiness, and all, Narada could see that Dhruva Maharaj is very much determined. So then Narada instructed on how to worship the Supreme Lord. So then we can see that in the previous verses that Narada was telling all this. And, this even the Sunidhi was also instructed to Dhruva Maharaj this way, that, your grandfather Brahma worshipped the Supreme Lord, so could achieve the perfection. That means that he could get this knowledge to create just by worshipping the Lord. And Swayambhuva Manu is worship the Lord. So this way, Mother Sunidhi also instructing, and then finally Narada also instructed that one should worship the Lord in order to achieve the perfection. Only the Supreme Lord can provide everything. So Narada instructed that you should make a form of the Lord using the clay, and every day you offer the flowers, whatever the roots or the fruits or the vegetables you get, and offer the water from the Yamuna. So Narada instructed, go to Madhuvan, and Madhuvan is very sacred and auspicious because of Lord's imprints are there. So all this instructed by Narada Dev, and then Dhruva Maharaj. The Narada became the spiritual master of Dhruva Maharaj, and then Dhruva Maharaj then took the blessings from Narada Dev and proceeded to the Madhuvan. There, Dhruva Maharaj then, very determined, and 5-year-old boy, we can see that. And even 5-year-old boy could, within 6 months, to please the Supreme Lord. And think about our conditions. We can some way or other, we can perform this, the loving devotional service to the Lord, even in this lifetime, so that Lord will be so pleased. So here we can see that Dhruva Maharaj in the first month was on every 3 days, was just eating just the fruits and then the berries like that in the first month. The second month, Dhruva Maharaj was eating on every 6 days, just the dry grass and the leaf, just the dry grass and the leaf. On the third month, Dhruva Maharaj was then holding this on every 9 days. Every 12 days, Dhruva Maharaj was then having just the breathing. So by this time, Dhruva Maharaj could attain the, the way that the mystic, that the capability that to control even the breath, the breathing processes. Every 12 days he is breathing. And he could hold it. This was then the fourth month. It was going on that he could, hold it and long time. And he could stand on the one leg, and this was going on. So this way, and this word it's mentioned that here, as Dhruva Maharaj, the king's son, kept himself steadily standing on one leg. The pressure of his big toe pushed down half the earth, just as an elephant being carried on a boat rocks the boat left and right with his every step. So why it is? Because of Dhruva Maharaj was attaining these mystical perfections or the siddhi just by loving devotion. So we could see that how powerful, how determined Dhruva Maharaj was, his enthusiasm, his determination and all, and he was so steadily, so steadily. So this should be one of our quality. We should very steadily and continuously. So in the last week, Prabhupada Maharaj was revealing this very important aspect of performing the devotion. So there are three aspects Maharaj was mentioning. It's very important that we should always remember this, keep it in our heart. One is enthusiasm. One should have great enthusiasm in loving devotional service, performing the devotion. Ulsaha, great enthusiasm. We should not be lethargic and lazy and okay just for sake of somebody else. Oh, that Prabhuji said to me that okay, do this, let me do this. No, we should understand first of all that the Supreme Lord is very, very compassionate to his devotees. He is loving, he is Bhakta Valsala. Should always have this understanding and then perform loving devotional service with such great enthusiasm. Anything which comes to us, anything which comes to, especially in devotional service, anything comes to us is just by the will of the Lord, by the mercy of the Lord, by the mercy of the devotees. Doesn't just happen accidentally, anything in devotional service. This was very clearly mentioning into the 25th chapter of, the third canto, Kabila Devi is instructing to Mother Devagodi. Anything that which one is able to perform devotional service, that just by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, by the will of the Supreme Lord. So one should have great enthusiasm performing the devotional services. So then the next one is determination. That great determination one should have, because of that the great results one can achieve by loving devotional service is tremendous. It's beyond that our material conception. It goes beyond everything that it reaches to the Supreme Lord and it pleases the Supreme Lord and his Lord pleases. And this with the determination that one should have this. I should do this. I should do this loving because it's my param dharma, right? Save pumsha paru dharma yadur bhakti radokshade. This is Ambarish Maharaj was revealing this fact. And the ultimate duty of a person, paradharma, is nothing but to engage in the loving devotional service to the Supreme. Save pumsha paru dharma. This is our ultimate, the supreme duty, responsibility, the duty, param dharma. So one should have determination like this. No matter what, whether shine or rain or snow or summer or winter, whatever the conditions, one should chant, one should get up, one should engage in the loving devotion with such determination, because of there is nothing better than this in this world, that loving devotional service to the Supreme. And this also one can get only by the mercy of the Lord. So one should have that determination, enthusiasm, ulsaha, nishchaya. Then dhairya, the patience. One should constantly and gradually and constantly, with the patience, one should engage in the loving devotional service. So it's not that, just as soon as we come, so we just got enthusiasm, just done for 1 month, then done, oh, I can't do this, or because I'm not seeing any results or, any benefit. So, but rather we should have constant, continuous, spontaneous, continuous loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So this is called then have that with that patience. So one should have that patience. So definitely there is a results for. So this is what is the quality of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj was with the determination, with enthusiasm, such a patience, understands. And so gradually, Dhruva Maharaj was developing this wonderful mystical, siddhis and attaining this perfection and siddhis, gradual process of his devotion. So that's what is here that when Dhruva Maharaj was, standing on one leg, the earth was even going half of its, down because of the devotional service, the power, the strength that one can attain by this loving devotional service is tremendous. We cannot even imagine that, cannot even compare what we can get in this material world. So in the Ashtanga Yoga processes, we know that it's eight processes are there, right? That is what is it is initially known as Yama and the Niyama. Then asana, pranayama, then pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. And this is the process called Ashtanga Yoga processes. The yama and niyama. So one should have this, don'ts like non-violence, right? And then truthfulness and don't eat, don't intoxicate, don't eat meat, and don't engage into the gambling and no meat eating, like these kinds don'ts, all the don'ts, right? These are called yamas. So one should have strictly follow if you want to achieve these results like Dhruva Maharaj. One should have this enthusiasm, determination, patience, plus we should have these very wonderful processes of that, which is impediments for the devotional service, that one should have that yama, that which we can avoid to cultivate the devotion. Then it comes to that niyama. That means that what we should follow, that we should have truth, we should have cleanness, should truthfulness, swadhyaya, we should study the scriptures. This is all the process that we can follow. Yes, we are not able to go to the forest and like Dhruva Maharaj, but we can, while sitting at home, we can also attain the same perfection like what Dhruva Maharaj had. So all these things, as is mentioned, that the niyama means that, what we can do, and purity and the cleanliness and the swadhyaya, study of the scriptures, and worship the Supreme Lord. That's also mentioned into the niyama. Then again, that comes to us like, then asanas. That means when you chant the, holy name, sit properly, like Srila, sit straight, sit straight and chant. And this is another way of asana so that we can focus completely hearing the holy name. Then pranayama, that, we should have this process of controlling the breathing process this way that we can control our mind. The why this recommends that every day, little bit of that we have this pranayama process, it can control our mind. Otherwise, it's very difficult to control the mind. So if you continue this process, focusing and this little bit of breathing exercise, we can control so that we can chant the holy name properly and engage in the devotion properly. It's mentioned that when we do the devotional service, should be completely focused, completely attentive and focused. So many times when we do something and we are not there, our body, we just say, mechanically do everything. Even chanting, we do mechanically. Even do worship is mechanically. Our heart is not there. Our connection is not there. This is not bhakti yoga. This is just mechanical processes, right? So this all abhas is there, namabhas is there, seva aparad is there, dham aparad is there. So many things. Why? Because we don't have that complete focus, complete determination is not there. So this way, then it comes to that the real, this called pratyahara. Pratyahara means controlling the senses. We should definitely control senses. Dhruva Maharaj was controlling the senses, eating habits here. We can see that. So we can also do that in our day-to-day life, like, instead of 4 times eating, 3 times eating, like, Ashtanga Hridaya says. Even 4 times eating is the drohi, right? In Ashtanga Hridaya says that if 1 time eats, he's a yogi. And is, if even if you eat 2 times, it's mentioned that you are a bhogi, actually, you are a sense enjoyer. And 3 times you eat, you are kind of a rogi. You are kind of always, some problems or other. That's what we can see in this world. We are entitled to eat this 3-4 times every day, and nowadays, doctor says that you can eat every half an hour, and you can eat. So this is kind of this guiding so wrongly that people are, falling into this, this so much of troubles and sufferings and the problems. But it's very clear, and it also helps to our day-to-day life. So even it's mentioned that even if you eat like 4 times, you're a drohi, you're eating somebody else's food as well. This way it reveals all this, the importance of it. So one should have sense control. This is called pratyahara. How to control our senses. Then it comes to dharana. is a real understanding. Dharana means complete understanding or complete surrender to the Supreme Lord. So we should always, because of the Lord is everything for us, that like Dhruva Maharaj, he is completely surrendered to the Lord and worshipping the Lord in such a determination. And similarly, then one has this understanding of dharana, complete surrender to the Lord. Then it comes that we can completely focus dhyana. That's what is Dhruva Maharaj is doing, that meditation, dhyana, then samadhi. So this way that one develop this, there are six, also eight, also siddhis are there also with this, the Ashtanga process. Eight siddhis that one can, ashta siddhis. One is called anima. Anima means one can, once attain this perfection, one can go like, as tiny as he can. Very tiny. That's called anima. The eight siddhis that one can develop. Another is called mahima. Mahima means he can as big as like infinitesimal size, that huge size that he can, become. As like Hanumanji, like, he can so big like this. And he can also become so small. And many yogis also, they have this, siddhis. Then it is called Garima. Garima means he can become heavier than the heaviest. He can become as heavy as. So this is another. So here we can see that Dhruva Maharaj attained that perfection of Garima. Now he is becoming heavy and by the process. And some point of time we can see that from the Dhruva Maharaj body that the heat generates. That's this burns, likes everything. So this is the power of the devotion. So because of this Garima, the heavy, the earth is actually also going down half. So this is another, this is this devotional services, mystic processes, siddhi, or that especially devotional services, which is so powerful. So this way, there is Likhima, there is Prapti, there is Prakamya, there is Ishitwa and Vasitwa, and all these various siddhi one can attain. But in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that, especially out of all yogis, that yoginam api sarvesho mad gadandara andaratmana sraddhavan bhajade yoma same yukta tamo madaha. It's mentioned that of all yogis, one who has great faith always abides in me, think of me within himself, and renders loving devotional service unto me. And then he is most intimately united with me and is the highest of all. So we may think that the difference between this bhakti yoga and this ashtanga yoga. But in the Dhruva's case, it is bhakti yoga, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned that, because he was meditating on the Lord. He was worshipping the Lord, offering the flowers and fruits, and this is bhakti yoga. But by the bhakti yogas, within 6 months, and Dhruva Maharaj could attain the Lord because of the bhakti yoga. He has completely obeyed the Supreme Lord in his heart. But on the other hand, if you look at the yogis, they may be doing for thousands of years, but there is no result like that. Maybe they may attain some material perfections, but they cannot attain the Supreme Lord. Only by bhakti yoga that one can attain the greatest perfection. So we know that the Srila Prabhupada, just for an example, Srila Prabhupada was performing this loving devotional service. And one time, some of the reporters asked that Srila Prabhupada, can you show some miracle because of your, we are seeing that you have extraordinary power. Can you show some miracle? What Srila Prabhupada answered? Srila Prabhupada said that, yes, I did so much of miracle that when I come here, this young boys and girls, they were completely into this material pool and they were intoxication and they were hippies and they didn't have any idea of it. It was so difficult even in this country that people now after some time they all become pure devotees of the Lord. They get up early in the morning like 3:30 a.m. and they come for the Mangalarati. They chant their rounds. How is that possible? This is because of that, the power of devotion by the mercy. Because of Srila Prabhupada, decide that all these young boys and girls should become devotees of the Lord. It's not that, these boys become that they're capable, but not. This is because of that Srila Prabhupada's mercy. Srila Prabhupada showering that mercy. This is the miracle. Srila Prabhupada, within 10, years, that there are 108 temples established in the world. Here we are struggling to maintain one temple. Here 108 temples, and Srila Prabhupada turned upside down this entire world. We can see that the differences in the world, that so many people coming forward and taking this Krishna consciousness so wonderfully. So out of all this, we can see that the difference of mystic yoga, Ashtanga yoga, and the bhakti yoga, as Krishna says, Bhakti yoga is the topmost of all the yogas. And in this purport, Srila Prabhupada says that one should the cultivation of or the culmination of all these yogas to come to this ultimate yoga system called Bhakti Yoga. Only by Bhakti Yoga, even this Ashtanga Yoga and all that one can just within this material world they can attain some perfection. But by the process of Bhakti Yoga, like one can go beyond this material world and enter into the Vaikuntha. Only by Bhakti Yoga that one can do that. This is the highest of all. That's why Krishna says, this is the highest of all the yogas, Bhakti Yoga, one who worships me and abide in their heart and worship me and meditate upon me and engage in the loving devotional service to Krishna. That is the highest of all yogas. Then one can attain this all the mystic. And what is that all the mystic? That all this siddhi one can attain that bhakti yoga, so one can easily get out of this material world, and one can attain the supreme personality of Godhead only by bhakti yoga process. That is the highest of all. Otherwise we'll be stuck in here in this material world, even if we go through all these various other yogas. So here we can learn from it. The bhakti yoga process is very powerful. One can attain the perfection, one can attain the siddhis, and be by the bhakti yoga and attain all the siddhis like devotees, and so many wonderful devotees out there. So we can have all those examples. So bhakti yoga is the ultimate process, like Dhruva Maharaj here, and also you can attain the perfection. So let me stop here with this note. Thank you so much, and a lot that we can learn from all these wonderful Bhagavatam sections. Thank you so much. And Grandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. Any questions or reflections or comments? You can put it into the Nityam Bhagavata Sevya group. Now it is 7:02, and back to you, Madhuri Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you, Sumeshwar. We'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead and weekend ahead. Last weekend in 2025. Take full advantage of it, and with utsahan, with full enthusiasm, determination, and patience, try to distribute the mercy of the Supreme Lord in form of books, in form of the holy name, by going out on Sankirtan, by going out door to door, by, if you cannot go out, it's too cold, right from your home, call 10 people whom you know and ask them to take this wonderful book that you can do right from your home. So, yeah, take this wonderful opportunity for this last week of 2025. And that way we'll be able to welcome the Supreme Lord in 2026. We'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram.
Hare Ram, Ram.
Jai Nrsingo, Praladesha, Jaya Padamukha Padmabhindam. Ugravidam
Veeryam
Veeram
Mahavishnu
Mahavishnu Jalantam
Nrsingham
Sarvatomukham
Vishnu
Narasimham
Vasanam
Vishnam Bhadram
Nrsingham
Matyam
Namami.
Namamyam.
Nrsinga Bhagwan
Hare
ki
Bhagavan
Jai,
Jai,
Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees of the Lord.
Kalpatarupasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaveta.
Nidanam Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo Mahavishnu ki Jai.
Ki Jai,
Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Ki
Jai.
Jai,
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Thank you, Sibeshwar.
Thank you everybody. Hari
Thank
Bol.
you.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.